Gentlemen and ladies, welcome to the Fruitfully Honest podcast.
We're back.
I am your host, Robert Jones, with my co-host,
Jack Caroselli, what is going on, folks?
You know, Jack, we changed up the audio a little bit to see, try to make the sound a little better. So
We hope it's good for you guys.
Yeah, people, let us know.
Because it was bothering me.
Let us know in the comment section on Twitter at Fruitfully Honest.
Yeah.
How it's sounding and everything for Shizzle. So, what we're talking about today in our election candidate spotlight series is Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
This series is basically where we will do an in-depth look at each of the candidates that are running. The reason we didn't do this before was because there were 17 Republican candidates and there were like 8 Democratic candidates.
Yeah.
So we really weren't trying to do that. Yeah, now we're down to like 3 and 2. So we're just going to go on and do this today. We're talking about Hillary Clinton. So what she's trying to do is she's trying to become the first woman to ever be elected to the office of President of the United States.
Yep. That would be, and I think that's cool because last time we had the first black president, it would be cool to keep that going with a woman.
And then a Mexican, then a Asian, then...
And, we'll talk about later on whether or not we think this is the right woman or not.
Yeah, I don't think she is, but
we'll get to that. We'll open up. So let's go ahead and start off. Robert, you know a lot about some of her accomplishments and office she's held, so go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Well, okay, so ever since she was a teenager, she started off interning at the White House. She started out interning for the Republican National Convention and different Rockefeller groups and that kind of stuff. So she's always really had some sort of tie with politics in her life.
Lifelong politician.
Yes, she is. She's a lifelong career politician. You know how I feel about those, Jack. I don't like those.
I don't like them either. I do think it's commendable, though.
I mean, yeah, not really. She married Bill Clinton in 1975, and Bill shortly after that ran for governor of Arkansas, where Hillary was the first lady. Then after that, Bill ran for president, and she became the first lady. And then after she became the first lady, she decided to run for Senate, and I believe she was a senator from 2001 to 2009.
And then she resigned.
Yes.
Right.
And, president, that kind of stuff. She became the Secretary of State after she became the senator. And she's also served on the board of Walmart, so she's got ties to corporations.
Yeah, she's held some high office spots. She's been in business. She knows politics in and out.
Yes, she does.
So
she knows everybody.
That could be good. That could be bad. Do you have anything else on sort of accomplishments and anything like that, or?
I mean, not really. I mean, those are.
I have
those
something
are basically what she's
along a little bit of the same vein. Obviously, when you're in politics for 30, 40 years, you're going to get a lot of support from certain people based on what you did in the past. Hillary is no different. We talked about last time how Trump was 95% self-funded. His highest donation was $50,000. I did research on Hillary. Her 20th highest donor is the Lehman Brothers at $362,000.
Lehman Brothers, people.
This is also from OpenSecrets.com. All this information I'm about to spew. Her top donor is Emily's List, almost $1 million, $900,000. And then 9 of her top 20 donors are more than $500,000.
And Jack, what's funny about that is that's not even the donations that she's taken under the Clinton Foundation moniker. So
these are just corporations, big businesses giving her money for special interests. Source of funds, we talked about Trump, 95% self-funded, 89% since 1999 for Hillary Clinton is individual contributions. Over the course since 1999, she's collected almost $500 million from corporations, and only 3%, or almost $14 million, is self-funded.
Yes.
Over the course of 16 years.
Yep. And I have a stat about this year alone. From January 2015 to April 2016, she's taken over $222.4 million, and that's been with this election by itself. She's taken 72% from just plain donors, and then 28% from super PACs and other groups.
Right.
So,
and another fun fact I found is They actually did research on the zip codes where these donations were coming from. They had a top 20 list, and I went through and checked it out. And only 2 of this top 20 list are not from New York, Maryland, or Washington, D.C. Guess where those 2 locations are?
Where are they?
Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. So these places are not coming from mom and pop businesses. They're coming from big corporations in New York, in DC, in Los Angeles. And what I get from this is her money's not. She's a career politician, obviously. She's paid for by capitalism. She's in the pocket of all these people who are paying her money. So that's my worry.
That's my biggest
I did research on her positions and I kind of agree with them. But in the same vein, how do I know any of that is really what she believes? That could just be people who said, "Hey, I donated $1 million. You damn well better say this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, Jack, get into a few of her policies.
Okay, all right. I did a lot of research on her positions. Her main thing, I just sort of have a lot of it. I'll just sort of rapid fire them and we can talk about them. Her thing with immigration, she's very open with it. Same thing as Obama. She wants a path to citizenship. Plus equality in representation. She said nothing about deportations, which to me is a little bit rough. That's my main one.
Yes.
I think there should be no forgiveness if you come in here illegally, especially because we are the melting pot of the world, and it shouldn't be a big deal to just come in here legally.
Yep.
Her thing
You're
with
right.
abortion, she's a bona fide pro-choice, which I like. I'm pro-choice.
Me too.
Donald Trump he wanted to defund Planned Parenthood. With guns, she doesn't want to ban them, but she wants to close loopholes and expand checks, background checks. I don't know still really what I feel about that, because part of me is still that the Constitution, the constitutional right, but in the same vein, that was made in the 1700s.
Different time.
When we didn't have a military, we had a militia to defend against tyranny. So I don't think we really need guns anymore. Her foreign policy.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But.
Well, right. I know what you mean. Foreign policy. She wants to maintain the military. She doesn't want to defund it or expand it.
I think we should defund it. So
I think we should.
I guess we disagree with that.
Trump wants to expand it, which
No.
Yeah. She wants to strengthen our alliances. She wants to cultivate new partners, stand up to aggressors, defeat ISIS, and then enforce the Iran deal, which a lot of people think
Which
is a poor deal.
I think it's a poor trade deal.
Yeah.
It's a poor nuclear deal.
In terms of taxes, she wants to close corporate loopholes to ensure healthy pay, their fair share, and she wants to give tax relief to middle-class families. To me, when you say close corporate loopholes to ensure wealthy pay their fair share, I mean, that sounds just like a politician's cop-out to say you're going to tax the wealthy. I don't know, though.
I'm not so much for the taxing of the people who own the jobs or own the corporations that employ hundreds of thousands of people, because I guarantee if you tax the Walton family so much money, they will not like that.
Yeah.
If you tax Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all these other rich people so much, maybe they're not going to want to produce as much things because they get taxed.
Right.
Deadly.
I do like the relief to middle class, though, just because I am a bona fide member of the lower middle class. So I can get with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind cuts for the.
Yeah.
The middle
In terms
class.
of gay marriage, she's liberal, so duh.
I guess we agree. I don't care what you do.
Right. Yeah.
As long as it's you're not trying to like force it on other people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. With healthcare, she defends Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, which I sort of disagree with. Then again, I don't really know much.
I don't like punishing people because they don't.
Right.
They don't want to.
And I don't know a lot about it just
so.
because I'm 17, so I still have my health care from when I was little. I haven't had to do it yet.
Yeah.
In terms of the economy and jobs, she wants to raise minimum wage, create jobs, cut middle class taxes. I just said raise minimum wage, and she wants to invest in education and infrastructure. Which is a little bit what Bernie Sanders talks about, how we have a crumbling
Yep.
infrastructure.
And I like the fact that she wants to invest in education.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
our school is currently going through a referendum. Vote yes for the referendum
Absolutely.
so that
May 3rd.
the people, we will not have to cut 150 people in the staff, cut the budget $6 million every year.
Yep.
Vote yes for the referendum if you're in Oakville.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
She does support the USA Freedom Act and NSA. in terms of terrorism.
I don't.
Absolutely. One good thing though, she wants police body cameras, which I do like that.
I could do that.
Because she talked about police and a little bit and said there are problems with the police force, but she does think they're a little bit disrespected and they
Yes.
get a bad rap. But I do
Yes.
think body cameras would take a lot of that out as long as you're not tampering with the footage and giving it to the wrong people and making sure that no one sees it.
Yeah.
Open body cams is what we need.
Yeah.
In terms of climate change, like Donald Trump said, he thinks it's a hoax. She says it's real. She wants to invest heavily in clean energy. She has no real opinions on education in terms of like Donald Trump wanted to just get rid of Common Core. She
Yeah.
didn't really say much about that.
I think climate change, I think it's man-made. And when I say man-made, I mean it's propagated by the left and it is propagated by the media to make people think that climate change is real. So if you ask me, it's not real. But it is real in the sense that people say it's real.
I do think there.
If that makes sense to you guys.
I think I get it. But
Like
I do.
it's just a way to get people to fund the scientists and fund the lobbyists in Washington. So,
I do think. I guess that's where we are going to disagree on that. I think there is a real climate change thing. She does want to ban drilling in the
all I want to
Arctic.
say about climate change is since 2012, the ice capsules up in Antarctica are up
All right.
50%. So
Well,
that's a fact. Go check it out.
That's a good thing then.
Yeah.
She does want to ban drilling in the Arctic, which is a good thing in my eyes. Just to reduce, because if we mess with that, a flood from the Arctic, a major flood that would wipe out Earth. There's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
So like I said, no real opinions on education. She just wants to invest in it. That's all she said. Which could just be her politician in
Yeah.
her speaking. Oh, invest in education. She says one of her top priorities with jobs is higher pay in terms of budget. She wants to reform the VA with veterans, give more help to them. She wants by 2020 she wants to have solar panels all the time everywhere, and she wants renewable energy in every home in 10 years.
Sounds good to me. So,
So
Jack, I got a couple things that'll kind of lead us to the close of this episode, and those are the controversies surrounding
yeah.
Hillary and Bill Clinton.
I got a little
So
something.
first, I'll let you go in and talk about the emails because I know you said you
Oh,
did
yeah.
some research on
This
them.
is the one because I hear about it all the time, the email scandal. But I finally actually looked it up, figured out what it is. Essentially, this is a quote from Slate.com. For the 4 years she was Secretary of State, she never used an official state.gov email address. She used her private email account with a private server installed in her home. Now, this went unnoticed or unaddressed. That's what we have yet to figure out if this was also part of the government. Until last summer, a request for documents turned up. Not one email sent or received from that state.gov email address. Now, they then requested messages from her personal email. She turned over 30,000 messages that she deemed work-related, but then she also scrapped over 31,000 that she said were personal. And then, after that, the account was wiped clean. She claims that was for convenience because she didn't want to carry around 2 devices. Now, that would be okay, because I wouldn't want to carry around 2 devices, but she's claimed herself she's not exactly a light traveler, calls herself a borderline hoarder. In her purse, she carries an iPhone, an iPad Mini, and a BlackBerry. But she doesn't want to carry 2 devices.
So
That's fishy.
So let's talk about Benghazi. On September the 11th, 2012, there was an attack on 4 U.S. citizens at one of the United States embassies overseas in the Middle East. They say that she had previous knowledge. The files say that she had previous knowledge, but did not act on that previous knowledge. And in return, it caused the death of 4 innocent Americans.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Let's talk about the millions of dollars that she's made off of these speeches at large corporate events. And I think it's kind of hypocritical because she talks about how the corporations need to pay more taxes and the corporations are evil and all that stuff, but yet she takes millions of dollars to speak at these corporations every year. She has a net worth of over $80 million. Bill has a net worth of over $150 million. Like I said earlier, the Clinton Foundation, Jack said earlier, the Clinton Foundation has raised over almost $2 billion. And the Washington Post said that they have a $250 million endowment, which is like a certain amount of money that the Clinton Foundation gets every year. And then another thing, this has to do with Bill, and it's the war on drugs. When he was the governor of Arkansas, he signed a bill that would allow the importation of narcotics and other drugs into the country to sell in the inner cities, which was thought of by the George Bush 41, George Bush Sr., Daddy Bush.
Daddy Bush.
So the Clintons and the Bushes have always been
Bush.
aligned some sort of way.
Right.
And then the final big thing that I want to talk about before we wrap this up is the Clintons' war on women. You can get the book Clinton War on Women. It's by I think his name is something Stone, but he's a accredited author. The Clintons have been known in the past for their relationships with women. In particularly, Bill Clinton has had many relationships with Monica Lewinsky and Pamela Jones and other women.
I did not
But-
have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes,
It's not even close.
yeah, it's kind of close.
Not bad.
But you know, Bill has a history of raping these women.
Yep.
But Hillary goes around talking about how women should have equal rights and everything, and women should be treated fairly. But yet, she's the one who sicks the IRS on these women in order to keep them quiet.
Right. A little bit of contradiction there.
Yeah, just a little bit. But that's just what I wanted to say on that.
Yeah.
That
One
topic.
last thing on the controversies. This goes back to the email thing. You talked about Benghazi and prior knowledge.
Yeah.
The whole thing with deleting half her emails and wiping it clean is that, yeah, some of them are probably personal, sure, but it also comes down to the whole she likely deleted emails that contain classified information.
Yep.
That's
So-
pretty much sure.
So, Jack, on a scale of 1 to 10, how trustable do you think she is?
You know, my
I give
thing
her, I
was
give her a 2.
you give her a 2.
2 out of 10.
My thing was I'm mostly in agreement with her views, but I know she's bought out by corporations, so maybe those are fickle views. And her email thing just really hits the trust. You know, I originally wrote down a 6, but after thinking about this, I'm going to go ahead and give her a 4 out of 10 electability.
Okay. What about trustability?
Trustability, I give her a 1. I don't trust her at all.
Okay. Electability, I'm going to give her a 7. She's
7.
very electable.
I think maybe I'll bump that up to a 5.
The Clinton name carries a lot of weight. So,
Right.
Jack, next episode, we're going to be talking about Ted Cruz.
Lion Ted.
Lion Ted.
Yep.
Yes.
We're going to be going in on
So, yeah, gentlemen and ladies, until next time, stay tuned.
it. We will see you later.